Economies of scale or leverage. One way I like to think about this is by looking at the finance industry. Specifically, looking at people who get rich from investing. And one of the key concepts that they use is other people's money. So they get rich largely because they're not limited by the money they have themselves, but they scale by using other people's money. Now, if we look at Warren Buffett, one of the richest people of all time, a lot of people think he got rich by buying undervalued assets. So companies that were very valuable, but the market wasn't recognizing that value. Now, to some extent, that's true, but I think the missing ingredient here is the fact that he's using other people's money. What Warren Buffett does is he takes the insurance float, so the premiums that people pay up front for insurance, and then he invests those in companies. So as much as he's good at selecting good investment opportunities, what he's really doing is achieving leverage without needing to borrow money. He's not borrowing money to accelerate his returns. He's using other people's money through the insurance float. The second case where he's using other people's money is when he first started his investment fund. He pulled together money from other people and then invested it on their behalf. So let's go through a few examples of growth hacks that apply the principle of economies of scale or leverage. The first is word of mouth. So when you launch word of mouth campaigns, there's an initial investment of time and money there. But then there's a cascade effect that sustains the message and spreads the message without you constantly needing to feed the market with content. Another example is to leverage people who already have massive followings. So there are influencers out there are magazines out there are YouTube channels out there that have built massive followings over 5-10 years that will be impossible for you to build organically very quickly. So what you can do is you can piggyback off of those audiences and growth hack your product by building relationships and partnerships with those influencers and journalists. Similarly, you can partner with large companies. Large companies have spent years, decades even, building massive user bases, building trust, building credibility. And if you can piggyback off of that, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and effort so that you do not have to start from scratch. Another example of economies of scale or leverage is automation. So for example, one thing that I do to compile lists, cold lists, is going onto LinkedIn and grabbing the emails that are available there. But why do that manually, or why pay somebody to manually do it when I can set it on automation using a tool such as scrap.io that simply scrapes email page by page so that I don't have to. Lastly, there's using other people's time. And one way to growth hack your product is to focus on user-generated content.